Boy, happy Friday, everybody. I got it together. I'm a little late, but I'm here, y'all. I'm a little late. Hey, you been late before? Go to work late every day almost. I'm joking. China dog.
Hey guys.
How you feeling? How you feeling?
Doing great.
Woo, man, I'm tired. I just woke up. It's Friday, and it's time to get up in here. My whole face swollen and in pain. Oh boy. I just want to get through it. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Tell them, Marlon, don't be ungrateful. Like the video. Come on, y'all. We live. It's Friday night. Let's get to it. Get to it. Hit the like button. Come on, come on, come on. Let's get it together. Let's get it together. What's up, Jennifer? Reese in the house. Honeybee Lee. What's up, Donna? Yo, Nita Joe. Mo Retta, Mo Retta. What's up, Jess? Jessica. Bella. What's up, Bella? Yeah. Kimberly Ortiz in the house. Is that you, Karen? The New England Beauty came through. What's up, Yo-Yo? What's up, C? And my main man, Mark. How you feeling, champ? Black 2 Haruna. What's up, Miraculous? Christina Mims. Fax 100. Jared Love. Sean Camacho. Josie Perry in the house. What's up, Laura Rachel? Francine. Marilyn Miller. Green Cream in the house. What's up, Teresa? Kathy Corbin. What's up, Jess? Miraculous. Sean. Come on. Come on, everybody. What's up, Love and Life? Ashley B. What's up, Francine? What's up, Lillian? Divine 619. Nancy Franklin. What's up, librarian? Beyond Bless. Lori Bryan. What's up, Will Power? Main man, Will Power. How you feel? How you feel? Green Cream. What's up, C? Is that you, Mark? JBE 162. Come on in, everybody. Come on in, my friend. Y'all, come on in. I'm leaving you tonight. Right on time. Right on time. Yes, indeed. There she go. There she go. Kathy Corbin. And my other guest host here this evening.
Hello.
Hi.
What's up, Keisha J?
Feeling great. How you guys doing today? It's Friday.
Yes.
Friday. It's time to get these people.
Your hair is so pretty.
Thanks. It's finally trying to grow a little bit after, with narcissism, after you've been one, you lose your hair, right?
Uh-huh.
We got you pulling.
It was like different pieces and versions of the dress. I'm like, oh my God.
From the slums to Bethlehem. Oh.
It was rough.
I know.
Happening? What is happening?
You saw my picture, so I know.
Yes.
Hey, y'all know. So y'all compliment each other and talk about your hair. Y'all never talk about my hair. You know, on the nights that I'm waved up,
Got that glow back. Ain't it nice to have your glow back?
Yes.
It is. Do feel good, don't it feel good? Isn't that a wonderful feeling? It's people out there that don't believe that one day they're going to get that mojo back, that they're going to feel better than they've ever felt before. What do you? We're gonna start out with y'all tonight, ladies. Of course, right? Always start with ladies. Tell them, China, what do they have to look forward to one day? One day, what is the feeling like?
Whew. Most of all, that relationship back with God and peace. Those are the main elements because that relationship with God is so needed because that's the only way you're going to find your way back because it's not just your physical that needs to be healed, it's your spiritual as well because they tear us down from every piece of our body to our soul.
Yeah, they getting in. They getting it in. How about you, Keisha? What's your analogy on that? What is how did you feel, and what do you say to people that feel like, man, will I ever get back to that feeling? Does it ever come back for real, or do you have to act on that too? I personally think people act it out, or people get so used to acting with the narc that they believe that that's the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's actually you finally do get there, but it's like stages to this stuff. The ultimate feeling is it's like China said, like you really get your soul back. Like they're literally tools for soul hunters if they're not soul hunters themselves. And if people don't know what like a soul hunter is, like when you're dealing with a narcissist, they are literally operating on the level of warlock and witch. That's what they are. And because of that, they are literally like trapping your soul. Like that's a thing called soul trapping.
Yeah.
And they take a part of you and they feed off of that with an entity that's in them because they already got them. But a lot of times, like you are so chosen or sought out by God, the enemy knows that. They know you, they know your bloodline, they know all about it. And so they send the narc because the narc is like an open vessel for them. And they literally drain your life force. So then you start looking, you'll look 10 years older. I look at some of my pictures, I look like 10 years older. I had grays, hair missing all on the hairline. My eyes had wrinkles. I don't even know. I was like, oh my gosh. But it's just you don't even recognize it until it happens. Like you see a picture, like who is that? Like what was that? But that's how it was. Like, it was so bad. The family they sent the rescue team because they seen a YouTube video
We
that
got
he had. Like, what is wrong with her?
get Keisha up out of there. Let's send the rescue squad in there.
They sent the
She ain't coming out. She ain't coming out on
rescue squad.
Let's get it in and get her. She done.
Even family from the first husband, the grown kids, dad, they came out the woodwork like, we might not like you that much, but we can't see you like this.
He said that the first husband was like, whoa, all right. No, and to be fair, that's what it's like. When you see somebody else just going that far off, you just like, yo, whoa. I know we ain't together no more, but damn. Hold it, man. This ain't even you. What are you doing? Like, come on, man. There's somebody else out there, all right? We're going to figure it out. We're going to start out with, boy, hold on. First and foremost, let me mind my man here.
Shout out.
Good gracious, man. Did I not, save it for David? And, of course, Connie Barnes. Mwah. I gotta thank the sponsorship. It's just
Mhm.
that's just ungratefulness. I'd say, the people that show you love. That's what narcs do. You know what I'm saying? They act like you don't know nobody no more. But we're gonna start off tonight, guys. I wanted to start out diving into the narc wants you to feel like you saved them so they can abuse you and you will allow it. So where I'm coming from on this one is when you met the narc, the reason that we open up so far the way we do is because this person really wants us to believe that we came into their life and we basically were the superhero. Like, you saved me. I never met anybody like you. This is so wonderful. And you're all of these special things. And really that's just the setup. They're setting us up so that when they abuse us, and which they will immediately following that,
Mhm.
not only are we going to take it, but we're going to justify it. We're going to justify it because not only did they make us the superhero in their life, but then they told us the story as to why they're going to abuse us. Because I was abused. So, because I was abused growing up, I'm going to lash out sometimes. I'm going to call you out your name. I'm going to act crazy. I'm going to abuse you. I'm going to lie to you. I'm going to cheat on you. I'm going to do all of these things because remember that story I told you? I told you, I grew up, we lived like this and it was that, and I had to do without, and I was basically on my own. And but that's the story I'm telling you so that you will feel sorry for me at all times. It's always going to be you feel sorry for me. Okay. So, but remember, at the beginning, I made you the hero. You were the star of the story. You were the savior. And guys, that is my thoughts and that's my observation on how we got to the place we got to with the narc. When they came in your life, they came in and they made you feel so special. They gave you so much attention. They gave us so much attention at the beginning. You didn't even feel like you needed to ask if they were with somebody else because they were always on your phone, calling you, texting you. You literally couldn't breathe at the beginning. At the beginning, it was, hey, where you at, babe? What's going on, babe? Hey, I just want to hear you talk. I just want to hear your voice. That's all. All of that, right?
Yep.
And then just out of nowhere, they took their toy and went to play with somebody else.
Mhm.
And we sitting there like, well, wait, hey.
What happened? Right.
I thought that, I thought we had a thing going on over here. I thought we had a Love Jones over here, And then they told us, of course, they knew we would think that. So they gave us, the getaway plan. They told us that, hey, well, I went through a lot in life, my life been rough. So, you gonna, would you just gonna leave me? You gonna leave me like everybody else does, huh? They're gonna make you feel sorry for them. they're going to make you feel like you're the problem. They're going to make you feel like me cheating on you was something you made happen. Me cussing at you, me hitting you, me doing evil things to you were done because you made me do it. And I feel bad because I did it. Yes, I feel bad because I did those things to you. Oh boy.
It's not even just that. It's that they do so much stuff to you, and then when you respond and you do something to them, now that's the justification for what they've done. And then that's the justification for them to want to get revenge on you. F what I just did that made you do this. It's not the cause and effect for them. It's what you did. It starts with what you did, and now they have to do something to counter that. Rather it's mess up your property, have you put in jail, get protective orders on you. It's all about your reaction. It's never about what they did.
And not only is it about your reaction, once they know that secret place inside of you, that secret place that unlocks all of the craziness, that becomes their favorite place. And everything that they remember exactly what they said. They remember exactly the way they said it, the tone of voice that they used, and they will mimic everything that they have said, everything that they have done. They will mimic it and say it again and again to pull that response out of you so that you will show out, and you will show out on the same level. And think about it. After you take it for so long, you just start acting out worse and worse because you're like, hey, what do I got to do to show you this is a problem? And they're looking at you like, whew, this is the exact response I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They want to create a clone.
Yes.
But when you're dealing with a narcissist, narcopath, I'm gonna just say antisocial personality disorder, because that's the whole group of them. They none of them have empathy, but you can have a sociopath, narcissist, psychopath. Most of the times, the ones is sociopath, narcissist. But when you're dealing with them, one, they look at you as an object. They're not really looking at you as a person per se. They want the three S's. Their three S's is they want sex. I don't know how the screening is with the censorship, services, and supply. That's it. That is it. And so what they do is they have to first create a shared fantasy, and that is like that ideal. First they're studying you. They're very, very calculated, so they're seeing like, okay, do you talk about God? Okay, I'm gonna talk about God. I'm gonna display some action that I'm serving God while I'm in front of you, because I see that you talk about them, so that's probably what you like. Or if you into like sports, all of a sudden they're like, I used to play this or that, or want to talk about, did you see the game? They're very adaptable to whatever you like or whatever your interests are. If you're like into, like, say you're a female and you're a beauty stylist, they'll have a story for that. Well, my mom went to beauty school, and they'll be making this up. She went to beauty school, and like I spent time in the salon, so I really value entrepreneurship, all of this stuff. And then they future fake. So once they kind of see like, okay, if they look at you like this person is eye candy and they're going to make me look good because they look good and I can take them around friends, then they're going to always be like complimentative and say like, I'm going to support you. You don't have to work. I'm going to pay for this or do that. And they might have some money to back that up.
Uh-oh,
But
China.
the service is make me look good, make me look like I outdid the childhood high school person because they took a X from me. So make me look better than that person, because they're always stuck in some type of past time zone. Then if your job is like, they look at you like, okay, well, your income. So if you got a good income, okay, I'm gonna use this person to Those are usually the ones they can marry because they can get the money, the joint bank account. So I'm gonna use this money, I'm gonna build myself up, get my business going, then I can like lead them. But I need this person to help establish me financially,
There you
or
go.
I need to brag about their title and their position to family members or however to make me look good. That's the service that you provide,
Hey,
and
not
that's all it
that.
is.
Not just
Service,
not just
the doing the do, or some plot adoration. You got to constantly, once you don't give them the adoration that they feel like they deserve in their distorted demonic mindset, because it's always changing, that's when they want to have another primary source of that, those three S's. They always got like rotating sources, and I had an ex that called it heavy rotations, and it was a joke because they were like, we heavy rotations. I never knew what that meant until really understanding this now. It's like always having somebody in rotations,
Yeah.
and that's how narcs think.
Yeah.
They're
well,
not ever thinking like, oh, I love and care about this person. That don't exist in them. That's a meat suit with a whole bunch of ancient principalities. They don't even that's gone.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but you know what? It's funny. Well, I guess it ain't funny, especially when you're going through it. But they're looking for that person to not only help them attain the dreams. See, they want you to, they want it to look like they're attaining the dream you want. And then you're giving them the ideas. So when they go to the new person, they're taking not just what you helped build, but they're taking your ideas. They're
Mm.
Your identity,
your identity.
identity theft.
Going right to the other person.
Yeah.
Look, babe, this is what I want to do. You all the time you talking about how you want to look. I want to start this business, and this is how I'm gonna start it, and this is what I'm going to do. And then they're talking to this new person, and they're saying the same thing. You know, I just wish you
Yeah,
could understand that. I want to start this business. Yeah, and and it's like you around somebody that's always downing you, and they always just negative, and
yeah.
other person believe in all of it. Like, wow, like really?
Yeah, they'll take your testimony. I'm like, how you gonna take my time? And when you call them out on it, like I'm literally the words, the stories, my life experiences, like those were the ones he was telling, like it was his life to the women he was trying to impress. But you hear it and you like, that sound like my life. My life. Like you didn't live that life. What are you talking
That's another reason why they are never going to let you speak to that new supply.
about?
They're
No,
not gonna do it
never.
because they know the stories are going to. It's going to be too much. You're going to mess up that whole situation if you talk to that person, because that person is going to tell you like, hey, yeah, that was my idea. What? I talked about this business every single day. Are you serious? And she came to you and said, what? And I'm saying, that's just part of it, though.
Yeah.
That's just part
Yeah.
of it, man. They really want to go. I mean, again, to me, I just look at it like, man, you met the devil. You met somebody that really their whole plan is to deceive you,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
then just run off and deceive as many people as possible while they're living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just deception, because when I see old narcs, man, they look back over their life, over the people, how many other people they've done this to, and they literally have no remorse later in life. I mean, they just look bad because they've done so much. And when I say look bad, I'm not talking about look bad as far as their physical. And even though that goes too, But I'm saying they look bad because they look lonely, man.
And
God,
they'll tell you they hurt a lot of people. Like they'll tell you
Oh,
up
yeah.
front, like I hurt a lot of people, and I just don't want to hurt you. I just want to make sure, like I don't want to mess this up because I know I've
Yeah.
done bad things. So they kind of like give
right.
you a heads up how they are.
That's
They,
the thing.
they telling you what they gonna do to you.
Yeah.
Say what?
When they tell you that, they telling you exactly what they're gonna do to you. They just want you to believe that you're different, that you're special, and
Yeah.
that this is not gonna happen to you.
Right.
You know, this is what I used to be like.
Yep. I get that a lot. I get that a lot. And I've I've been thinking, and these people, when they do think about what they done to you, the reason why they blame you is because they do have that little window of reflection. But then the devil steps in and says to them that it's your fault. And the reason that
Yep.
the devil has to have them see it as your fault, because if they reflect long enough, they might heal. And the devil don't want them to heal. He don't want them to go to therapy and really work on themselves. So that's why they convince themselves that it's our fault. It's the devil literally convincing them that we're dealing with people who the lights are on, but nobody's home.
Ooh, man, that's
Not
big.
at all. Not at all.
Light on, but man, ain't nobody gonna answer if you knock on the door.
Nope. Nope. And they know, and it's like they understand that something's wrong with them, and they know that they go into it knowing it's not going to last long. They just trying to get as much as they can out of something. And even when the mask falls off, that's when they want to see how much you're going to tolerate, like as far as how much they would do that abuse. But when they even hunting for souls for new supply, it wasn't anything about that new supply person that stood out other than their being gullible, naive, and able to be easily deceived and controlled. That's it. They put the bait out to everybody. I get the stories like my pastor ex was messing with everybody. He was trying to send everybody his pics, and the ones that bit the most, like the young one that bit, that was really naive, that's the one. And long as they got an income and housing, because homelessness, they can't do that. Parents don't like them, so can't gotta have housing because they're homeless, and income. And the one that bit, they had the income and housing, that's the one that he made primary, because it's a supply. That's what you need: services, money, whatever it is. But they put it out to anybody. Anybody could have been in that role who wanted to be abused.
And you know what? I think that most of the time we get caught up on the look. It must be the look. It must be the money. It must be something outside of what it actually is. We're thinking that a narc is just somebody that, like, they just see somebody that looks a little better today, or they saw somebody today that looked like they had a little more money. And it really was seen that way. But the reality is, a narc is really just open to other people that are going to let a manipulator in. Guys, the biggest thing when you see a narc with anybody, and this is for everybody, when you see your ex narc, okay, when you see them, remember that used to be you with that other person.
Yeah.
Think, and right now you think they happy. You think they happy because at one point you remember when you were happy. You remember, yeah, it was a happy little time, but maybe for about 30 minutes we was happy that day. And it's just up and down every day.
Yeah.
But when you are with them, the one thing that you have to always remember is that happiness, that person, the person that they're with, They getting it.
Yeah.
They're getting it the same way you were getting it. The person that they're with that person because that person will allow them to manipulate. That is the only reason that they dealt with any of us, because we were soft targets. Narcs are lazy. Okay, they are lazy.
They don't want to do nothing. And if they was married, it's like it's more, and it's more deeper than what we know, like as a relationship, a marriage, or just like somebody we was dealing with. This is so highly on a spiritual level. Like God is a covenant God. When somebody come in and they break up a marriage, that's cursed before it can even get started. That's just how that works. Like there's no getting around it. So it's just not good.
You're not. And I think that when you're talking about a marriage, man, for me, guys, I mean, I'm in my own. I ain't gonna say I'm in my own lane because I know a lot of people that feel the same way. When it comes down to being married to somebody, and you're one of those people that doesn't have an issue with dealing with somebody that's married, and hey, they not really together because they spend all their time with me. You can justify it. Listen, man. And I'm telling you the same way I tell people when I'm doing my sessions, man, you getting what you deserve. You getting the hell you deserve.
Yeah.
You think that you met somebody and they married? You think that God bought you that? You think somebody bought you somebody else's husband or somebody else's wife?
They
Man,
really think that. They
deserve.
be sitting up there like, yay, and all of that stuff. And it's so much of a deception that is happening. And it's unfortunate because even the church goes along with it. Like it's really narcissism, and especially when you have someone that is in like a leadership position in that way, and just narcissism, period. That is a religion. Like it is a religion, it's a cult. Like you have to, the narcissist believes that they are either God or have godlike. They are a godlike character, and they demand worship. Like you are in automatic idolatry. That's why a lot of us are getting ripped out of these situations in these end times, because God has to step in. Once they kind of do they bewitching stuff, because that's what they do. They have a bewitching power, and it's very strong. Like it's a very strong spell. They do the bedroom eyes, they do all of that. And if anybody knew about soul trapping, a lot of soul trapping happens when they have pillow talk. So when they do that stuff and you're sleeping and they can kind of bewitch you, you're literally not in your right mind. Like you're in a twilight until that is broken. But God's mercy breaks it, but you're actually in a religion.
And
Like
you,
they want you to service them, they want you to ask them for everything. They're always like consuming your time. They want to block your praying, block your worship. If you were like really like going hard for God, they want to be your God and everybody else God. And they want to just, it's weird. It's crazy.
you know
They
what?
crazy.
That's something that I see Jackie Walters said. Yeah, it's witchcraft. Yeah, she's right. It is. When you are laying next to them, I want y'all to understand, man. You are laying right next to a warlock or a witch.
Yeah.
These people are literally trying to cast spells on you.
Hmm.
And they want you to speak spells against yourself. These people have a very evil intent with you.
Yeah.
Our biggest problem is that we don't believe, we just don't believe that these people really have that evil intent. Like they're really no, they've shown me that they can love. And realistically, they didn't. They showed you that they could reflect. They're not showing you real love. They'll go in there and they'll throw things back at you, because they'll remember something that means a lot to you at the beginning. at the beginning, it can make it look like they really care. But once they know they have you, once they know you've been pulled in, that's it. Once they know they got you, it's like, man, I don't got to be nice to you anymore.
Yeah.
I know you care about me. I know how you feel about me. Guys, y'all think about when you were with them. That person felt totally and completely secure with you, with the way you felt toward them. They looked at you like, oh, I ain't worried about you going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. I got you right here. And this is it. You're not going anywhere. And I'm not worried about it. That's how they felt.
Yeah.
Really felt like, man, that's on you. What you going to say, Chana?
I was going to say, and that's why it's important when they discard you, even though it may hurt and it may be painful, don't give them the satisfaction of knowing that you hurt from it. Just accept it for what it is. And that will kill them. Just go no contact. It will kill them because the thing is they expect you to chase. They expect you to get them that validation. They expect you to make it seem like they're wanted. So if you accept the discard, that will taunt them for the rest of their life as long as you don't go back.
But that's the thing. How do you just not go back from the very beginning, that first time?
Go ahead.
How I decided not to go back, I believed his bullshit that whole time.
There it is.
That's like I figured shit. I believed in Santa Claus. So why not believe in this information that I got a hold of? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, like I said, I believed his BS all that time. So I took a chance on what I found from this channel and decided to believe it and decided not to turn back. I never went back. I never thought about going back. I'm not going to go back. I don't have a conversation for that man. I don't care what happens to him in his life. I hope they have longevity. I hope they get married. I hope they have kids. I just want them to leave me alone. That's all I ask. I don't give a damn about nothing else. You got a made up mind is a powerful thing. When you make your mind up, there's nothing nobody can say because it was nothing you could say to them to get them to stay.
Hey, Chana. First of all, shout out to Chana because I picked it up right here. So if I heard somebody on the internet saying that, how many years that could have saved me? Man, you got to cut that thing off. You can't be talking to it. How you gonna cut it off? Do it every day.
The demons will talk forever.
You listen. Right. You've got to see them as it. You've got to disassociate yourself, because if you don't disassociate yourself, man, you're gonna find. And I'm saying this, guys. I'm saying this from a place where I've met a lot of people since I've been doing this. And I still talk to all of them, you know what I'm saying? Just from time to time, short conversations. And I see people that I know, just one particular guy. And he was so determined. It just was not an option to go no contact. It was not an option. Okay. Because he was determined that her family, and guys, this is another way we get caught up. Her family, he felt their family loved him, but yet nobody talked to him no more.
Of course not.
Oh, their family fake.
In the mud, bro. Come on, let it go. And he thought that they were going to have this amicable relationship and raise their child the way he felt it should be raised. And bruh, and even to today, just spoke to him last week. And I'm saying, guys, this is 4 years after. 4 years later, still reflecting, still got that anger, still mad. And I'm saying, I used to coach her. And I told her, I said, bro, I'm gonna give you 2 years. You don't go no contact. I can't do nothing else for you.
Mm-hmm.
Not progressing. All you doing is you getting up, you going through the exact same thing. We're repeating the same conversation, and you just going to redo it again because you ain't had enough yet. We can resume when you get enough. I was like, bro, it took me 24 years to figure it out. Okay. Before I had enough. Before I had enough. And I'm telling you guys, you can literally waste your entire life and you will not feel like you will just feel like you did the right thing. You will feel like you did the right thing. You will literally waste your entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not gonna get better, and I think that's kind of like that toxic hope. So, like, the first thing you have to do is you have to understand what you're dealing with. Like, I knew after I got married, but I didn't really know him that much when I married him, so that was a flag. But once I got married, and then he moved in and flipped out. That's 2 months. I'm like, this dude is nuts. But there's a contract involved now, so I knew ahead of time, like, dang, I'm about to be. This is crazy. But he went, all the way to Arizona, like I'm getting delivered, coughing up, so doing all this stuff all across the country. They'll do whatever it takes to secure you and your assets because that's what they need. They need to kind of rebuild themselves, and you are the key to them rebuilding themselves so they can soar and try to be God. But what you have to do, like the main drawing thing is like once he started feeling like he secured another supply because things kept getting crazier at the house with his biological son because he was like trying to choke him out and stuff. He was ready to bounce on him, just leave him, even though that was crazy. And so he was ready to just bounce and disappear again. And he did end up doing that, leaving his teenage son. Like, I had to adopt him. And that's how crazy these people think. They just can up and not deal with life. They don't care. They're not in touch with reality at all. So when he was doing that, he started getting very violent. Now, once they get violent, that's when like, even before that, you can kind of see it gradually getting there. Like, they'll start getting like more like physical, want to choke you, like different things. But once that happens, you have to stay gone because that monster you dealing with the beast. If you had that Split, remember that movie Split? They had the guy who was the mother and then this and that. Okay, the personality that once that mask fall off and they secure another supply, you're gonna only get the beast. So you got
Yeah.
to get out of that stuff. And then you have to start going through your stages. There are like usually 6 stages that people go through once they went through any type of psychological, emotional abuse. And the first stage, first you got to understand whatever you thought was your reality was not your reality. That they had you in a fantasy delusion. It's called shared fantasy. They shared this fantasy with you. They got you to buy into it. You were an investor in their fantasy world. That was not real. So you have to come out of the shared fantasy, and then you have to go through these stages. You're going to go through some despair because it's very painful. So that's the first stage. And depending on how much you're able to accept the reality of what's going on depends on how long you stay in that stage of despair, because that's like when you really need to have therapist, coach, psychiatrist, whatever you need to do to kind of get through that so that you're not just in bed all day, not cooking, not feeding your children, not doing anything. Then you have to go to the next stage, which a lot of you guys are in now because you're on this channel. You have to educate yourself about what you're dealing with. You have to understand what narcissism is. You have to understand that this is a anti-social personality. Like, it's a whole demon. First of all, it's a demon, but because everybody want to have a scientific term for demons, let's say anti-social. That means they cannot socialize. It's anti-social. They are not going to be a sociable. They got that fake stuff that they do, but as far as having a meaningful social interaction, they don't have the capacity to do that because they don't have empathy. Then you have to go to your awakening. Who are you? Because they take your identity. That's stage 3. When you start to redefine who you are, that's called the awakening stage. That's usually when people, they reconnect with God, they reconnect with their faith, they kind of do their things and kind of start piecing together, their identity and dealing with things in the past. Then you have your boundary phase. Your boundary is other toxic people, because the narcissist is in no contact in the despair stage, stage 1. The boundary stage is so how you protect yourself in future interactions. You have certain boundaries, like if someone want to come over your house after 2 days, no, that's my boundary. Even if you get mad, even if you look like the model off the calendar, no, you're not coming over my house in 2 days. You got to keep your boundaries. You're not meeting my kids after an hour. That's how they want to do. They want to move fast and secure you. And
Yeah,
then you have your
first day we meet, right?
restoration phase. The restoration phase is like building you up. That's when you're really like exercising or doing things that make you healthy, make your brain healthy, making healthy choices and stuff. That's like kind of that final stage. And then you have your maintenance, where you are never going to be in toxic situations ever again. And you are happy, you're okay about it, you have your glow, and you maintain that at all costs. Never go back to the Terminator.
Hey,
Never go back to the Terminator. Please
Let,
understand.
let me say this to that part, though. I think to tell yourself that you're never going to deal with a toxic person again is like, it's not realistic, because this world is so cold and there's so many of them out there that you're going to have to deal with them. I have to deal with my children that are toxic. So that's not realistic. It's something to set, but it's not realistic. And when you set unrealistic goals, and once it failed, then you revert back to the way you used to be. And I saw somebody say they dip on you as if they never knew you. They never did know you. They
Yeah.
never took the time to get to know you. That's why they dipped on you as if they never knew you. You were the one invested. They was not invested at all, because they knew, these people know if you're long term or if you're short term. But at the same time, you're going to get discarded regardless. And it's people like us that they want long term so they can go out there and play with the trash on the streets.
but you know what, too, China? It's they want to be outside because again, nobody, one of us, we're gonna realize we in the filth, and we keep on trying to clean it up. They get tired of going home,
Yeah.
and you got it smelling like Windex and
Yeah.
Ajax and Clorox, and look, they took a dump on the floor, and that's what they want to smell when they walk back in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to be the pig pen, and all you want to do is clean it up. That's the one thing that just makes their skin boil. They're like, you always trying to be the right thing, and you always trying to make me want to do right. That's the main thing. They get, it's like you around somebody that's always cleaning up, and it make you feel uncomfortable that you don't want to clean up nothing. I don't want to clean up nothing. I don't want to do nothing right. I want to do wrong. I want to come in here half drunk, high, and I want to fight. I want to talk to you any kind of way, do what I want to do, and then go back outside and you not say nothing about it. That's what I want. And if you're not gonna let me have that, if you're not gonna let me have that, then you know what? Then I'm gonna just take it. I'm gonna just take it. And they know you want to salvage the relationship. They know you want to work this out. They know you don't want to start all over again. they know that everything that you're doing it to better their situation.
Yeah.
Because you lost yourself in them. You're not
Mhm.
focusing on what you want to do for you while you with the narcissist.
And they had a lot of good people before you, but it's always like if you want to be healthy, like even with the sages, like you have to go through those, and you have to have those boundaries. Like that's the fourth one. If you had a boundaries, the other ones can come, but you probably, it's really good to have a coach or a therapist or something, because there's usually some underlying issues that got you in that position. But that's the only way that you will really stay mentally healthy and stay in a position where you're not going back to these situations. Because yeah, toxic people, like on the job, they're everywhere.
They're
But
everywhere.
them boundaries, like once you set them, and even like on the job, like if you have a toxic boss, because that's trending now, you want to do everything like per our conversation, per this. And when they kind of gain up on you, like it is getting to the point, I'm having a lot of patients that need the EEOC involved, because they're like really, like since this whole pandemic stuff, they want to make sure that they kind of manager people out. So that's going on where they got these narcissists in these manager positions, giving everyone a hard time, not honoring
Mhm.
accommodations, or anything like that. So you always have to think wise, and you have to make sure that no matter what, you're not doing the people pleasing, because that's always a flag. Like, I'm going to do everything strictly. I'm going to know the policy, and I'm going to do per policy, do my email. Well, it seems like you want me to violate this policy. What do I do? I'm just help me to understand. And you want to have it email track, because they like to do verbal, because they can deny that. But we're in this era, we're in this age now to where this is it. Like they didn't release the little smart dust, and the smart dust got everybody going ziggity boo. They got the black heart.
Look,
That's what's
I'll tell you
happening.
what, Keisha, you stepping on toes tonight. Okay, you stepping on toes, because man, oh man, you just walked into my world. Goodness gracious.
That's what they
And
doing.
you know what? And I'm saying everything you just said, everything you just said, going to work, working with people, their accommodations.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, everybody got an accommodation. How can you run a business when everybody there got a damn accommodation?
It's tough. I
Every
gotta fill them out. I'm like, oh,
listen,
you sure you don't want to work? It sounds like you don't want to
listen,
work.
everybody has a doctor. Doctors are,
Yeah.
hey man, if you're gonna come in here and spend that insurance card, I'll
Mm-hmm.
accommodation. Listen,
Yes.
the doctor, listen, that stuff don't work in the doctor's office. The doctor like, hey man, you can't call in because I'm the doctor. I'm the doctor. That you cannot run a business where everybody has an accommodation. And when people see that certain people have it, then they start complaining. Well, so you ain't saying nothing to so and so and them. They don't. So and so ain't never here. Well, they have an accommodation.
Right.
An accommodation. Okay. Well, I need to go to my doctor. I need to. Okay, I know what to do.
Yeah.
And they pass it around, and
Packets that thick.
before you know it, you literally have. I could tell y'all stories, man. That it's just like, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have what they have. You got to deal with what you got to deal with. But again, your accommodation means somebody else got to pull your weight, and that other person that got to pull your weight don't get your check. They
Right.
don't even get that part that they got to pull. You know,
Right.
I mean, everybody got to. At the end of the day, you the only one getting your check. You the only one to get that check. And even though you may have a situation, which I get, sometimes some of us have a situation, and some situations happen on the job,
Yeah.
but some don't. You know, But at the end of the day, man, we are literally in a crisis because, like you said, after that whole it went down, everybody got to go back to work. Nobody want to go back to work no more.
Yeah.
Everybody, man, I just want to get on YouTube. I'm
that. And the companies, like now, the disability companies could. I had to write like the letters, but the disability companies now what they're doing is different. Like they're not just accepting any type of like report. Like they'll come and you fill out all the paperwork. They used to just approve it. They're not doing that anymore. They want to know weekly notes or however. Like if you come in, they want the progress notes. They want to. It's evaluated by their doctor. They want to see like is this person not able to think. And when you're dealing with the Narcville, like there is this Narc toxin that has been released that's attaching to them. When you're dealing with the age of the Narcs, now they're like they think that they can manipulate you, the system, everything else. But it's getting to the point where they're making so many changes. No one's gonna have a job. They're just gonna replace everybody with AI because they're like, well, this person would never take off. And so these policies are being made. Laws and policies are already being in place, and they don't understand it. And I'm like, you're not really making it better. Like I understand, like people might need some time off, some things might happen, but there's a lot of people that take advantage. Like they want off so they can work this job, or they want off so they can be under somebody. You know, it's not a real.
And you know, and Keish, I'm saying for real, that's a conversation for real. We gotta have it because that's so true. People are doing you want to do this and you want to do that, and you still want your money from over here. You want all the money from over here, but you want this money from over here too, and you're not willing to make that separation. You know, and it's like, man, I'm watching. I work for the Postal Service, you know, and I remember when I got my job there, man, that was a highly regarded job. That was like, hey man, you a blue collar worker, but you're still a 6-figure guy. And this was 30 years ago. It was lines. They would have to, when they did job fairs, they would have to book the convention center. Man, now we literally are we posting jobs at every post office. Like, hey, we hiring? Like you go to CVS and they got the rehiring sign out there. We got the same because we can't keep people. People don't want no job. It's not working there. They're like, hold up, man, it's working here. I thought I was gonna get to going in, you know, just fall out a couple times and you know, y'all just pay me from now on. I'm telling you, literally have people coming in almost day one. Whoa, no. I didn't know this is what y'all do.
That's what they do.
And we get as management, we carry the brunt of that. We carry the responsibility of it because they feel like, well, what are y'all doing to these people? We sitting there like, man, who are y'all hiring? Listen, there used to be a very strenuous test process to get into that organization. And guess what? There's no process to get in there. You literally go online, put in your email. They used to have a drug test. There's no drug test. Yeah, you heard it.
It's real. Stuff is real.
There used to be a serious background investigation.
Wow.
If you ain't got no company, you in. Okay. Yeah, you just got some little petty stuff. I'm pretty sure you can get in.
You know what? My daughter just went through like a toxic boss, and he was, you know, sexually harassing her through text messages and stuff. And then, yes, he was calling like the general manager, lying on her and saying that she wasn't coming to work. And he was doing stuff like he would try to make her come in on his off days. And if she didn't come in, on days that she was off, she wouldn't come in. One time he just shut the whole store down and didn't let nobody know. because he didn't want to work that day. And he was calling and trying to get her fired. So I told my daughter, I peeped him out and I told her what type of guy he was. So eventually it started working against him because now he's fired and she's the manager and he's barred from that whole establishment because of the sexual harassment against my daughter. He will be escorted off the property if he ever shows up.
Wow.
They do it.
I'm glad she stood up for herself too.
Yeah.
And she had text messages too.
Yes, they said send me all the text messages.
Wow.
Yes, schools out here just like, I think that's what makes it easy for me at work, because it's like, man, listen, I could be out here doing this crazy stuff, or I can live my life. If I want to be that, involved, it just ain't, to me, it just ain't worth it. It's not even worth it. Just dealing with somebody on the job, that stuff going with y'all. I've seen too many of those work relationships go bad, and they swear that they won't at the beginning, but they will. And when it gets bad, everybody gonna know all your business. And I with this one guy, boy, oh boy, we come to work one morning, and his girlfriend got all of his clothes in a black hefty bags, and she threw my man dirty drawers and everything right in front of the door.
Oh my gosh.
Building. Yes, she did. I said, boy, oh boy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I said, you ain't gonna lay that one down. You ain't gonna lay that one down. Let me shout out my man Out of Sight, Mike. Thanks for being a sponsor tonight, sir. Appreciate the love.
That's just so weird you said that she did that, because I mean, shouldn't that be embarrassing to her that that's the type of man she was laying with?
No.
What?
No. She ain't care. She thought it was funny. She like withdrawals.
They don't care. That's humiliation. They would love to humiliate you.
They love to humiliate you. And see, where we in the post office, man, it's like we take pride in our morning sessions of joning. We gonna joan on you if you in there. Oh my goodness. Yes, we are. And every day after that, he got it every day.
Wow.
I'm saying that's the thing, and that's why that's for me. I'm saying for me though, you have to, man, you got to be able to separate yourself from that stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can meet somebody nice at work, but you want to slow walk that, because that's somebody you work next to every day.
Yeah.
What happens? And if you haven't seen how crazy they can get, you ain't seen they level of crazy, and you want to sit back and watch and wait, because you don't want to deal with that when it comes down to it. And then what if you lose your job? And we're talking about a job with a pension, a retirement, a job with health care, life insurance, dental insurance. You're giving all of that away. Yeah, and for what? Just because you couldn't leave this person alone?
Right.
Like, man, no, ain't no, it ain't that good.
See, and that's why narcissists love coworkers, because that's their playground. That's where the people are available, and so they date and cheat with their coworkers, thinking that they won't get caught. But then, like with my situation and Lady Virgo's situation, when you let them have that coworker, now that person is in your position. They have to sit there and work with this person all day, every day, go home with this person. Now this person gets to fully see them for who they are. Sometimes you got to step out the way and let it be, because it's going to blow up eventually. And I bet you anybody who date anybody at work, one or both are narcissists. Trust me, because that's exactly what happened in this situation.
And you know what else? You got to think. when that person is at work, they're leaving home. And when you leave home, that's home is responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Fantasy.
They run exactly when they run to the new person, see, they're hoping that this new person embraces all of the places where they lack it. And they don't have to show up and be that same person that they had to be back at the house with you.
Exactly.
And eventually it always turns right back into that deal. Okay, like ain't nobody just gonna be cool with you, you know, you just staying out till 6 in the morning though? Y'all going on a trip for 2 weeks? 2 weeks? You and the girls? What? No. So when it's only fun when it's hurting you.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
When they figure out that they not hurting you no more, it ain't even fun no more. They don't even like each other.
they really don't.
They
They
they sit there
Um,
like, man, I thought we was having fun, and China she ain't looking on the page no more. China ain't looking over there, and this and you starting to get on my nerve now.
I
You
wanted
know
to
that scenario, I shut that down ASAP. I wasn't looking on their page. Like I said, he if he had one, I didn't know it. But when I did find her, she automatically shut that down. And I never went back and tried to look. So I don't know what they posted. The only reason I know what I know now is through bank statements. So I know about the trips and all of that stuff because I had to subpoena the bank statements and all of that for court. But that's the only reason I know. I didn't go on their social media. I didn't care. Thanks to you, I keep saying. I had no reason. I believed everything you said because everything you said, you could tell it came from experience and it wasn't repetitive. It wasn't robotic. It wasn't repeating what all the other channels were saying. You could just tell. And I just stuck to this channel. I just couldn't let you go. I lost my obsession with the narcissist and got obsessed with you. I'm binge watching this stuff. I'm like, if I'm binge watching, I'm gonna be watching, I swear, all day long, 24 hours a day, watching your videos, everything. I'm just like, he's right. I'm gonna do it.
Hey,
it's that like it's just that down to earth. Like sometimes you just need just straight to the point. This is what it is. You know. I
dude,
did want to I wanted to address Lily because Lily's like hurting
Yeah.
and she was saying she missed her
Yeah.
ex, and I'm sorry you had to go through that. This is a very painful experience, especially
you
when
said
you're fresh out of it. Lily in the comments, like she's like, missing her ex, and
Yeah.
it is very hurtful, and that's that first stage, that despair.
you
One
messed
thing you have to kind of know is like
your
how
question
these
real quick.
brain, huh?
Let me ask you a question real quick. Lily, tell us what you miss about him. Go ahead. Go ahead, Keisha. Tell us
And
what you
one thing people have to understand is that when a narcissist is kind of dealing with you, a lot of times they know how addiction works. They usually have some form of it, whether it's perversion or substance or whatever, but they're very addictive people. So they run on what is the dopamine cortisol pathway. They know how to manipulate that to a T. So they know how to flood those brain chemicals, but they're working on chemicals and they're not working on bonding. You have to have relationship, bonding, nurturing. That's
Mhm.
something they don't have. They only operate on that chemistry addictive cycle. So they can kind of flood you with their presence. They know to compliment you. They know to kind of do this in the bedroom because they know what all the other collection of people had said worked for them. So they
Mhm.
know what to do based on their stories and and stuff. And so they know like what movies say. They know to bring you flowers or chocolate or teddy bears or different, just like mediocre or just like superficial gifts that they seen on TV. or make little love notes. Like they know to do that stuff because they have learned behavior. Like they've learned that this is what they can do to get what they want. Those three S's. They want to do. They need some supply, that adoration, somebody to look at them as if they're God, and they need your services. I need you to be an assistant. Do this, do that, do this, control whatever. Let me pounce on you. All of that.
All right.
Those the
Yeah.
only thing they think about is those three S's. So you want to kind of look and see, like, okay, when they first leave, you got a whole bunch of cortisol going on. That's the main chemical that's there, and you have no dopamine now to offset it when they in the presence making you feel good. You have to see how to, like, okay, I got to replace this. So replacing that is doing things that, if you're not like taking any medication or have a psychiatrist or anything, then it's like exercising, like it's eating different with your diet. It's waking up and just kind of saying, what are your needs? And like Hario was saying, what do you miss about them? In those early stages, you want to journal so you can start putting the truths. It's helpful to have a page, and on half the page, write everything that you feel like this narc did for you. And then on the other page, because those are your lies, okay? On the other half of the page, write every truth about that lie. I felt like he was, really helpful. He was a protector. No, he was a coward. He actually did more harm to you because he caused you to be sad, and he wasn't there to protect you or soothe you or any of that. So he's a coward. He's harmful. And then if you say, well, he was like faithful, no, he was a cheater. If he was a provider, he was taking someone else's money, giving it to you. Like, you have to, like, really have that check where you fold that paper in half and see what you feel went on, and then write down the truths and the facts and pull that out so that you can consciously, like, bring yourself to the reality.
And let
You
me
know,
add this to that. I want to
yeah.
say that's good. And also, you could just write down all the bad things that they've done to you and you post it, because your mind is only going to hold on to the good. So if you write that bad down and you have it there where you can consistently see it, then you're going to look at that and weigh your pros and cons and see why. This is why you don't care about that anymore. That's what I had to do. I had to look at all the stuff that was done to me because my mind was stuck on the good times that we had. Like, and there really wasn't any. It was something we created in our minds that, went on. It was stuff that we did. They just participated in it. It was
Mhm.
all our ideas, all of our doing, all of our planning. They just participated in it because they wanted to ruin it, because that's what they do. They ruin your happiness. They ruin your dreams. They
Mm.
ruin your vacations. They ruin birthdays. That's their job, to destroy anything that makes you happy. And
Mm.
so that's why it's important to write that stuff down so that it can offset the stuff that you have embedded in your head about them.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say, Lillian, missing the ex. To say I miss that person is saying I miss those lies. I miss the lie that relationship was.
Yes.
I miss being tortured. I miss, I miss, being cheated on. I miss it. I miss all of the things that I know this relationship was not, but I wanted to believe in my mind. No, no, it is that. This, this is the perfect situation, and it never was. It never was. Yeah, we get to that place where mentally, when it's over, or they're just running out because, he ain't going nowhere. That's the side we don't even look at.
Nah.
You think somebody left you, they ain't left you. Nah, not the way you think. Not the way you think. Excuse me. He left to go entertain somebody. He ain't left to be totally gone.
No.
See, when somebody leaves and they just gone, and that's how they make us feel because they tear you down so bad at the end, you thinking, man, oh no, this is over. That's why everybody is so convinced, nah, I know they ain't coming back. And how many thousands of people have we seen come right back in this chat and tell us, no, they come back.
They come back.
They won't come back, y'all. Because they ain't never went nowhere.
No.
Wherever they went, they did the same thing. They repeat the process with everyone.
Yeah.
We are one dimensional when it comes to relationships. We think, hey man, I get the right person, that's it. I'm ready to just go get on up the road with my life and do life. A narc never had intentions. That was never their dream.
No.
That was never their dream. Okay? They want to go and get as many people and destroy as much as they can. Why? Misery loves company. We just don't think they're miserable. We don't think that they have something to be miserable about. And you don't know you don't know how dark it is inside that person until you've been with them for a time. And once they have shown you, guys, we're so full of light that we see the darkness in them and we still don't want to believe it.
Yeah.
We still don't want to believe we don't want to believe that this person cannot be fixed. We will sit there with them. Man, y'all will pray for them. Pray with them. Y'all sitting there praying, holding their hand, praying with them, believing everything y'all saying is going, oh my God, we praying together. This is it. That devil sitting right there saying, oh, I got you now. You're praying with me.
Sure.
You really think you feeling this. You believing in this. Guys, this person, they just look at you. They look at you like, I don't really believe you let me in your life the way you let me in. I don't believe you really trusted me on this level. And you did. And I'm going to make you pay for it.
Oh, yeah.
That is the promise from every narcissist. You let me in, you trusted me, you loved me. Now I'm going to make you pay for that.
Okay.
It's like sympathy for the devil. I mean, it's just like that song. Like that's really what happens. They are a split. So I'm gonna try to put some links here because it's anytime I talk about certain things, like some people just need to see like the teaching and have that foundational understanding of what I be saying, because it do go deep with the narcissists. They are really, really ideal vessels for what is like happening on a global level. Like there is some darkness that is released, and these vessels, because their soul is fragmented from trauma and everything else, and they choose the darkness. We all probably went through some trauma, but they choose to stay in the darkness. They like it. So these things that's coming out and doing like this dark matter, all of that stuff, it's attaching to them, and it's a shapeshifter type of thing, a shapeshifter entity. So they can be anything somebody wants them to be. They can have all of this stuff, but their ultimate goal is to end you, destroy you, and steal from everything you have.
Yeah.
Like they are agents of the enemy at all times, and they are so checked out and so far gone from themselves. A lot of people feel like, well, I can pray with them and I can bring them here, and they be like, we can go to church. God can save anyone. Yes,
I've
He
seen
can.
it. Yes.
They have given that up. They've rejected God. And
Yeah.
he's always trying to knock, but we ain't God. Like,
Yeah.
we are not God. If they not listening to him, we need to get out the way,
Yes.
because the stuff that they work with is legion. Like they have a whole host of them in one body.
And let me add to this too, Harry. You forget. We pray with them, we pray for them. Eventually, we pray them out of our lives. We ask God to remove these demons. And that's how you know they are demons, because you got to pray and ask God to remove somebody who can just get up and walk away like they do in the end out of your life. And that's how you know that they are demons. Because I prayed plenty of nights for God to take that man out of my household, because I knew I didn't have the strength to let go. But I knew once God had his hand in it, that he was going to remove that man from my life. But I wasn't ready when he did it. That's the thing.
That was absolutely powerful. Because I just, I felt it. I've seen it, but I just didn't think of it that way. You dealing with the devil because you got to go to God to say, man, get this out of my life, man.
Yes.
I don't have control over this. Get this out of my life. This is not. And guys, you tell me one good person that you gotta pray leave you alone. A good person will just leave you alone. You don't want to be bothered. I promise you. They will not bother you no more.
Yeah.
A devil, man, here they come again. Here they come again. After they told you they would never. Everything the narc ever told you they would never, they showed you eventually that they would.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Everything that they said they would never, every person that they claimed they would never, they did. I don't care where you get in life with these people. I don't care where you get. It always leads to somewhere bad. It doesn't ever end up, nobody ends up with a story of triumph. Nobody ever has a story of, this was wonderful. It never turns into that story we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
It always ends up as like, wow, man, I thought that we were going to be this, and we thought that it would be that, and I thought that we were building this life together, and out of nowhere, no, it wasn't out of nowhere. They've been breaking you down the whole time, and we just keep acting blindly. We act blindly. We do. We just want to go out here. We want to live our life. We want to accomplish the goals that we want to have, and we want to do it with somebody that, we can care about, that we're going to spend our life with. And guys, I'm going to tell you, man, it ain't nothing cool about being the one everybody point their finger at every time you show up with that person. It ain't, and I'm saying this, men and women.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nothing worse than being looked at like, you this charity case. They see you and they're like, damn, wow, you show, you can't know who you walked in here with
Mhm.
and still walked in. You can't know what they did to you today.
His first wife flew from California, and she was like, I'm just she literally had to ask me like, are you okay? I mean, like, she was like, because she was like, I just don't understand. Like, you're so normal. She was like, are you okay? Like, did something happen for you to end up with this person? Because like, she was like, her and her husband came out there. They was like, we're like really shocked, but
Hmm?
she was just like, are you okay? And only thing I can say, like, yeah, I'm good, but I was in Narcville. When you grow up in Narcville,
There
I
you go.
mean, hey, things don't make sense. You make bad
Sure.
decisions. You
There
got
you
to get out of Narcville. You
But
got to heal from that.
Keish, that's what I'm talking about when I say we were lying too. We
Yeah,
were trying to pretend that it wasn't what it was. And that's what I'm trying to say
yeah,
to Lily tonight. Lily, most of the time you spent with the narc, you was lying. You wasn't somewhere all lovey dovey and y'all just all peachy creamy. No. Most of your relationship with a narcissist, most of it is, you trying to justify why you even dealing with that person.
Yes. Man.
Most of
But people be bewitched. Like this is when I say the things are very serious. Like it's a dark power. Like they are bewitched. It's literally called goo. I'm gonna put the link in there. But literally, like there are parasitic things. Like everybody dealing with parasites. When you're attached to a narcissist, because this stuff is now they opened up certain things are tangible. You literally get parasites, physical parasites in your body eating away at you. And that's why hair is coming out, the inflammation, all of the stress, all of that stuff is happening. They call it many different names, Morgellons and all of that stuff. But narcissists are primary carriers. Like they've literally had links based on research, links that show the narcissist, because of they have those two souls,
those,
actually being a carrier of these dark parasites, black goo parasites and stuff. And so when all of this darkness is released, they attach, and then if you a vessel, they attach to you and they connect to you. And I've actually did like a study under the microscope what came out after like 2 months after not being with the narc, 3 months. Like it's a series of things, but it took not only like being separated, but also going through that healing, that deliverance. Because these things, like it is detrimental to your health. Parasites, they are a parasite. That's true, but they physically give parasites.
yeah. If you stay around them long enough, you're gonna get a little bit of everything.
One interaction, parasites. Okay.
Yeah, ain't nobody sign up for it, but it is what it is. Sick
I
thumb.
put the link in there if anybody want to see the parasites, because people be having unhealed wounds. They be having mental things happening, a lot of physical stuff, and a lot of different doctors from different disciplines came together, and there is this commonality, and there are studies that show it. So
Wow.
not good. They are
Oh,
parasitic
thank
parasites.
you for that super chat, Sick thumb. Mwah. Sick thumb said, "Now people question my self worth because I hitched myself to this crud ball. I'm so embarrassed." Well, Sick thumb, I'm gonna just tell you, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. You embarrassed. Hey, that's a part of this, man. Feeling embarrassed is a part of being with a narcissist,
Yeah.
guy. That it's a part of being with them because number one, you've gone through hell and high water, and you've gone through it with the person that you've done the most for, the person that you would do anything for. Being embarrassed, it just means you showed up with this person and you're still honoring who they are.
Yeah.
You still respect who they are, and you want other people to respect them. And now other people are starting to disrespect you because you decided, hey, well, I'm staying and we're gonna work this out, and they looking at you like, you think y'all working that out? Like, no, you're not working that out. And people just start to back away. When it gets so bad, people just start to back away and they look at you like, dang, man, you just really letting yourself go. Those are the kind of things people will say when they know you're just in a bad place. You have lost yourself. You're not keeping yourself up. And they know that they know this person is the reason behind all that you're going through.
Yeah.
We find every excuse in the world to try to stay in it. And I really miss, and I find this all the time when I'm doing different sessions with people. Everybody said, not everybody, but a lot of people have said, I missed it. I missed them. And, and that's as deep as it goes, because I always ask that question. Well, what do you miss about it? Even with Lily, I was like, Lily, what'd you like about it? What you miss about it? You know what I'm saying? Because you can't think of what it is, because it's nothing. It ain't nothing good.
No.
What you realize is they have you in such a place of torture where you have adjusted.
Mm-hmm.
You have gotten so used to being abused that now you miss the abuse. You got to a place where you thought, damn, no, well, all they do is complain and always put me down and doing this and doing that. And that's all they were doing. But you got to a place where you started to accept it. And you thought, well, I'm the only one that's going to put up with this craziness. So I know they're not going to leave me. And now you're sitting there saying, wow.
And you started to become it. Like the whole object of this thing, like the entity that drives them, is to make that person in the image of themselves. It sounds like exactly what Satan would do, because he always trying to, if God make us in the image of himself, he got his agents trying to make people in the image of himself. So what we were doing were we started to become those complainers. Like every time they cheat, they do stuff. We had a group of negative naysayers to call, like, this dude tripping, they did this, they doing it, blah, blah, blah. And all of your time gets so consumed and wrapped around them, because they now are your idol, even though it's a bad idol and you don't like it, but they are your idol. They consume more time than God. But now that that's happened, it's like once that idol is gone, you're just thinking like, now what do I do? What do I worship? Who am I? All of these questions. But you were so addicted and conditioned for that toxicity, calling, saying something. Now it's like you realize a lot of the people you were calling are toxic, negative people. Like
Yeah.
you don't really want to deal with them, because they were feeding into it. They were all everybody in Narcville that you associated with the Narc. They were all conditioned to keep you trapped in Narcville.
Hey, well, I'm noticing also something that we got to look at too is, when you're dealing with that person, y'all, we don't even look at how they isolate us. We don't. Guys, anybody isolating you, pull you away from either your family or your friends. We don't notice how they isolate us, because you had a different life before you met that person. And when they isolate you, remember, anybody that isolates you, they doing it because they plan on taking you away. They plan on taking you out of here.
But
That's what animals of prey do.
see, but half the time you don't know you being isolated. And that was in my situation. What he would do
Yeah.
is cause a lot of chaos between me and my family, where I would fall out with my family and then isolate myself. And that's how I ended up in this town, because my family caught him trying to cheat at a job they all worked at, and they let me know. And so he started a whole bunch of chaos. And like I said, I believed him over them. And eventually we had to leave, because now my family is into it with me and don't like him. So we might as well just go, and that's how he got me in this situation where I was so isolated, where he go out and get a job and meet people and do what he do. I'm stuck at home, no friends, no family, nothing. And I've been here 7 years and I'm just now starting to meet people. So think about that, how I was isolated for all that time. And that's what they do. You never know. They start a bunch of mess where you isolate from your family.
And they do it slowly. That's one thing I want everybody to remember. That is the work of Satan, to just take his time. Take his time. Do it slow. Because if you do it slow, they don't even notice what you're doing.
That's the venom. The venom is poison.
Exactly. If they doing it slow, they're doing it so that you do not notice. If they hit you with it all too fast, then it becomes this big accident, and it's all this drama around it. But if they do it slowly, you don't even really pay it any attention. You're like, oh, okay, what are you doing? Okay, no, that's not really happening. You know, let's see what Yo-Yo got to tell you. Thanks for the super chat, Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo said, why does everyone blame the mother for the kids turning into adult narcissists? In my case, it was the father, the husband. It hurts when people say that. Why does everybody say that the mother? Yeah, because you know what? I'm gonna tell you, Yo-Yo. This world ain't created equal. If that's what you're thinking, it's not. And the mother is the nurturer. The mother is the nurturer because a lot of times, this is the thing. A mother is the one that can make that child feel safe, no matter what is going on in this world. If the father crazy, he tripping, he drunk half the time, and he want to fight all the time, and he want to, he doing him or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
A mother, she still can nurture those children, and I get what you're saying though. You know, I get what you're saying, but the child is coming from the mother, so the child is growing inside the mother for the 9 months before they get here. So they're learning everything from the mother. For real, so the mother to a child is God until the child gets here, until the child is born. He's dependent on the mother for everything. To live, he's dependent on that mother. So that's one of the reasons. But, then, just the way things are set up on this planet, the things you have male nature and you have female nature. A father's nature is to be the leadership. He's the provider. He makes decisions on what's going to be best for that family. He got to make sure that family's taken care of, and he got to make sure that family's protected.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure everybody eats every day. Everybody got a house they live in, got clothes on your back. He has to teach, hey, this is a world we live in, and this is how we got to be. This is how we're going to navigate through this world. He got to figure out how to go out there and do that. He can't send the mama out there. Hey, mom, hey, late baby, you go out there and figure that out. I'm gonna sit here and chill and play this TV game. No, he has to go out into the world. He has to navigate, and he has to be able to teach those children later on how to do this. That's the way things are set up. It's supposed to be a certain way. Now, we live in a different world. We live in a world where there's a devil running interference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When that devil's running interference, we, as you can see, this devil got the earth off its axis because the roles are reversed out here nowadays.
And you always want to look at, like, you look at the definition of what mother and father is. Like in the Bible, the definitions are the terms. Mother means bonding and father means chief. But what the mother does in a situation when a father is a narcissist, if the mother, usually there's some underlying thing happening as well for that connection to happen. So the mother might be a people pleaser, codependent, or self-love deficit, or self-sacrificing. When they are in, like, have that kind of mindset, they may like over spoil the child. They may have a lack of like disciplining the child. They may kind of allow the child to have more of the abuse from the narc father because they just don't want to like engage, or codependency more likely will have that father figure still having power and control. But a codependent mother, and I usually like to say self-sacrificing mother, will still put that child in harm's way to still have interaction with that father if they're not married. If they're married, then that father is running the house and the mother is not intercepting and being protected. So a lot of times when a person has a large personality disorder, what I've noticed during the background is that there is a breakdown with how that mother validated their emotions growing up. It's usually some type of breakdown there.
It is. And, for me to blame the mother too, I'm a mother and I have children that I feel like are narcissists as well. And that's where accountability comes in. So for me to blame a mother is taking accountability for myself. By no means am I innocent in this whole situation. By that being his kids, I allow him to whoop, abuse his children the way he saw fit. And my kids resent me for that. They resent me for staying in a marriage where I was being abused and they had to see this. So that's where you take the accountability. Men, the Bible says a man is responsible for the household. And if the household fail, it's the man's fault. But that's not how society see it. And then you have a lot of single mothers who are raising these boys.
Again,
And not
again.
you have a lot of single mothers who are raising these boys and not doing right by these boys. They're raising these boys to be son husbands to them. And they're not teaching them how to treat a woman and how to have a family and how to provide the right way. And these fathers are not in their lives. So you can't blame a father for other than him just not being there. He's not responsible for the behavior. He's just responsible for not being there. And that's why we blame the mothers.
And you know,
But the father got the sin gene. So if there is a narcissistic father, that the angel of death just goes to the tree and look at the tree and see what he attacks the children with. So they're gonna have a 50% chance of becoming a narcissist because the sin gene comes from the father. How they interact comes from the mother, because the mother can like bond, nurture, offset it. But a lot of times mothers be trying to escape their own abuse, like they're in a crisis mode. So it's hard for them to be that nurturer because they're in survival. But the sin gene, like that curse comes down the tree. So usually the children, some of them may just be narcissistic because the father is narcissistic. The demons just go down the same bloodline. It's really it's really spiritual.
you know, that takes a lot. I'm gonna tell you, China, that took a lot. That took a lot
Yeah.
to be able to get to that place in life, to be that transparent, man. And that's really where the place I'm trying to get people to be, where you can just be woman enough and man enough to admit, hey, you know what? When I was in that situation, I got to take some blame that, man, I wasn't who I want to be. I wasn't the ideal person because I wasn't with someone who was bringing that out of me. I was with somebody that kept a house full of chaos and they would not allow any type of order. But now stepping out of it, see, that's showing that you healed. Most people can't show that they healed because you walk out of it, but you're still in it.
Yeah.
And guys, when you're still in it, it's like you can't disassociate yourself from who you were then. That's why when y'all hear me on here saying, no, man, all of that was my fault. All of it. Because I can disassociate myself from that. Because that is not me anymore. That's not who I am. I see you. I see you. Yo-Yo said, but we all experienced the abuse from him. Inside the house, yelling and raging at all. He
So
tried to
yeah.
me as the mother. He always arguing, and I spend that time with his. But see, you know what, Yo-Yo, what you'll see later. You don't see it today, but what you will see later is you're going to see later those kids. They remember who was acting crazy in there. They saw it. Were afraid. Listen, one thing I know about children is, man, listen, both parents gonna get it. If you think if you think the hell you gave your parents just disappeared, everybody in here, you wrong. You getting all that back. You know, my son said to me one day, he said, Dad, I don't know how you do it, man. My son, it was a good feeling. He said, Dad, I don't know how you still with me. How did you even tolerate me? And I said, yeah, I know, champ, but just remember that I did. And remember that one day, just like I deal with you, because I know what I put my mama through. I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not ever gonna sit here and act like I was some perfect, I was a day at the beach to just raise up. No, I know what I put my mother through. So that would be hypocritical of me to tell my own seed, man, Joe. No, that was the last straw. It's over with. This is it. And I know I haven't given him the tools to succeed in life. Now, after I've given you them tools, I've shown you everything I can show you, and you have rejected it, then you can just go ahead and whatever you're going to do, you go ahead and do it. You're going to do it your way. But I'm not going to just throw you away if I can avoid it.
Yeah.
If I can avoid it. Now, if you're just one of them people, just your mind made up, you going to be a nemesis, then okay. Then you go ahead over there and you come back over here when you can talk like you got some sense.
Yep.
Let God beat you for a little while.
That's how I do it.
They'll eventually they get it back together. But don't ever think that the kids not watching, man. The kids saw. I promise you, it's gonna look like I went 7 years. Me and my daughter did not talk for 7 years. And that happened because she was like, I knew it was the case, her mother putting pressure on her, but it was nothing I could say because it was my daughter actually saying, I don't want to come over y'all house. I don't want to come over there. And eventually I had to sit down with her and her aunt, her mother's sister. And her mother's sister told me, she was like, dude, she's saying she don't want to come over there. I mean, it's too much. Every time you go pick her up, there's a police scene, it's this, it's that. And it's a child. And at the end of the day, she was a little child. And I used to have to pick her up with a police escort. Y'all talking about craziness. Yeah. Anyway, but we had to have that time of separation. When we got back together, she remembered me. See, a lot of times what y'all don't see, the thing that I've learned is when you have the parent that got the most friction with the children, that's usually the parent that's really raising the children.
Yeah.
They look at you like, I know you love me. I know you care about me. I ain't worried about you. I'm worried about this parent who don't give a damn about me because they don't feel that bond from that other parent.
That's true.
They're looking at that other parent like this parent is looking for a way to write me off and not have nothing else to do with me. And a lot of times they'll want to live with that parent because they're still trying to bond with that parent. They're trying to figure out, what am I missing? Because they all have friends and they've seen their friends and their friends' parent. And they like, wow, why don't me and my mom or me and my dad have this kind of relationship? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
When you're the parent and your child knows you will do anything for them, you can forget it, man. You're going to be the one going through it.
Yes. And you know what? Let me add this too. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but that's how my kids are with their dad. They talk to him, but it's minimum. And when they got out of the military, they ran closer to me. They always come closer to me because they want that bond. And when I had a conversation with my oldest, I asked him, why is he the way he is towards me? He said, Mom, you don't even know that I love you. I don't talk to Dad at all. They see these things and they know these things, but they can't help but, keep the past. They can't get past it. Instead of sitting down and talking it through, they just continue to punish you for it. And one thing I'm not going to do, I'm going to take accountability. But one thing I'm not going to do is spend my life and your life re-apologizing for something I already apologized for.
There you go. Totally agree with that.
Because and they need a lot. Oh, sorry. They need a lot of. Oh, go ahead.
At the end of the day, you got to remember that, these kids are watching everything you do. They're watching every move you make. So they didn't just see what happened and you know that day that you started cussing because you was pissed off. They know why you pissed off. They understand it. And guess what? One day those kids will grow up and they will have relationships. I've seen it. I've
Yes.
seen it. They're going to have relationships, and in their relationships, I guarantee you, they will revisit this exact same thing. They
Yeah.
will see it again. What was you going to say, Keisha?
And you have to understand, like when they're children and they're seeing like a helpless situation because you're their mom, and if the dad is a narcissist and they're seeing the abuse happen, they want to protect them, but they're probably too little or in a vulnerable position. So that builds up as anger. Like they're liable to go in the room and like punch a pillow or take jabs at stuff, and then that anger just builds and builds and builds, and they don't know how to like display emotions. So if they're kind of like with you and they're like a teenager, they're going to snap at you, but they're snapping at you because that's the only way they know how to process that emotion, because
Yeah.
their brain wasn't developed because they witnessed violence. Witnessing violence is the same as experiencing the violence. The trauma, the brain does the same thing. So they have to heal and they have to go through that process of their brain kind of restructuring. But as long as you're still in it, you're still exposing them to those brain changes. Like you have to leave. You can't stay with an abuser because that's the other parent. A lot of people do that, but when you do that, it'll cause like brain changes in your child. It'll cause stomach illnesses, school performance will kind of, you'll see some changes there, but they are having PTSD. And so once they kind of get through the teenage years and become adults, then they may, kind of talk to you and kind of say how they were feeling. But a lot of times as a teenager, they're not, they're kind of like trying to have their identity. So they're dealing with friend stuff, they're dealing with that stuff. They're just going to act out because their brain is still a little bit younger than a teenager emotionally, but they're angry that they couldn't have a voice, they couldn't protect you, that they're dealing with a lot of anger on the inside.
And,
And
you-
you-
and I'm saying that Yo-Yo said they haven't talked to me in over a year. Why you ain't talking to your kids in a year? You know, if
she's
y'all have some type of order in there preventing that, he on the social media with his two sisters acting like they your mom, the kids' mom. I mean, they of course he's coaching them up for that,
yeah,
but the sisters are too. So everybody's taking that side. At the end of the day, those kids know who their mother is,
yeah,
and you're gonna see at the end of it how it comes back together. But you got to play your role. You still got to be solid too. Remember that the kids know where they can go back to. And Kim G said it in the chat. She said that they say that the kids do that because they know that they can always come back to to the same one that loves them. And kids are going to think like that. They're always going to gravitate to the other parent because they know their feelings are protected over here. I ain't worrying about this parent. This parent, we good. There ain't nothing gonna change with that. I know this parent loves me, and I ain't worrying about it. The other parent, not so much. The other, hey man, we got to figure this out. I want this parent to feel that way about me. And like I said, my situation, it was unfortunate that we didn't talk for 7 years. When we got back together, we were closer than ever. Sad part was she got killed in a car accident 3 years into that. But
Oh, I hear that.
yeah, it happens. It happens. Yeah, right after we got back together, right? Everything was going in a totally different direction and life was great, man. I'm telling you, man, this part of my life is the part of my life I wish I would have had her here. She would have had my first grandchildren, everything. It was like to share this part of her life with her just would have been incredible to me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, life is gonna keep on life, and y'all, and all you can do is the best that you can. That's all you can do.
Let me give her some encouragement here because I've been through that with my first one where I had to leave and I had to leave my children because I was going to die. He shown that he was willing to. So I made plans like we were going to move back to Chicago and I'm like I'm going to look for an apartment. But my plans, he kept the kids so I can come back. And so when I came back for my kids, he wouldn't give me my kids. He had my kids for almost 2 years, brainwashed them against me. They wouldn't talk to me or anything. And I was fighting, fighting, fighting for my kids, crying every night for my kids. And he wouldn't give them to me. But this is the key. I had to eventually stop fighting. And when you don't care, that's when they start giving them back. And that's when he started dropping them off one by one.
There
It's
you
like,
go.
I can't use this on her no more. It's not bothering her no more. So now he's looking at, damn, I got this whole responsibility. Now he sees the responsibility in it when he was seeing the torture. Once I took the torture away, he had to face the responsibility. And he didn't want that. And so he started dropping them off one by one, one by one. And
Uh,
finally, yes, gave me my kids.
and I think that's how it works. You know, you got to get to that place where it's sad to say, but men been saying it for years. The guys who want to visit their children, the guys who want to be in their children's life, they go. Those are the ones who be in court fighting. You know, every one of them. And the
Mhm.
ones who don't want to be bothered, man, they can go pick their kid up anytime they want.
Yeah.
You don't want to be bothered? Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. When you gonna come pick up your kids? You know, but
And these narcissists are so toxic. Like my mom, I mean, having a narcissistic mother is like it's rough. But like literally my dad, I was his only child. And and this is how they think, it's so twisted. They think like, okay, if this parent really loves this child, like want to be a father, but they didn't have their father, they're gonna mess it up. And then they're gonna make sure that you as their child don't get to grow up with your dad. So it's like, you never know what the mother is telling your daughter for them not to talk to you, or your son, whoever don't have their children, for them to not talk to you for all these years. Because for years, until I was like 40, my mom was like, he never wanted children. He didn't love you. That's why he left. That's why he went to the military. She didn't say like she was, cheating and doing all this stuff. But her goal was like, I didn't have my dad, so why should y'all have y'all's? That's kind of how that works. And for a parent to think that way and literally deny you that, like life could have been completely different had I known, my dad actually did want children and really did love me. And, now we're close. But it took 40 years and for me to hear from, somebody else for me to know.
do you realize you just sped past something and it seems so minute, but I guarantee you that this happened in most situations where somebody had a narcissistic parent.
Hmm.
That parent said something like, "Well, I didn't know my father, or I didn't know my,"
Yeah.
and they able, and you're sitting there like,
Yep.
ain't no way you just kept me from my own father because you didn't know what.
Took his money,
And
made him overpay in child support, took his money. But
listen, you
yeah.
said that it struck me like a lightning bolt because I had just thought about like, wow, so that's what happened to my daughter's mother.
Hmm. And they feed them so many lies. Like as a child, that's what you believe, because that's, you're like, okay, they're not there. And then any gifts he was send, like while he was in the military, they would like tear it up. like not let me have it. And it was just such cruelty. But then, no one ever corrected it, because once he did get out the military, it was like, you never wanted me, so like I don't really know you like that. It's like, I'm not trying to like be super close, because I know how you felt. You left me in a house of horrors. But that's not what really happened. Like, he actually left the military because my grandmother called him and said, you need to go get your daughter. You need to rescue her. It's terrible there. Like, the abuse is so bad. So he left the military, got an early discharge to come and get me when I was a teenager. But I was so brainwashed that I was just kept running away. Like, why? I don't want to deal with nobody. Like, I can live on my own. But it's like they literally, and they're so subtle with it. Like, they're super nice. Like, my mom's super nice. And they're just like, oh, like, you should be happy. Like, your dad didn't want you, and all of that stuff. But, we got this house for you. Like, all of this wonderful, they say these wonderful things, but they throw in there, oh, your dad never wanted children. Oh, he just never wanted children. He never wanted children. And then you feel so rejected. But it was the total opposite.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I never knew why my dad left. Like I said, my mom and my dad both were toxic. My dad had like 50 kids. He's not alive right now, but he would tell you he had 50 kids. He have kids overseas, he have kids here. And that's the thing. Like, none of his kids really wanted anything to do with him. And the ones that he ended up raising as his own were the ones who ended up making sure he was in a nursing home, but they didn't give a damn about him because they were fighting over his money and just threw him in the nursing home. And then they were the ones who buried him. None of his kids, not even me, was there. I would have been there, but I just didn't know he passed away because I lost contact with my dad because I was going through my own thing with this narcissist. So I lost contact with my dad and all the information. And
That's
so I didn't know he passed away until, just recently. But
right.
um, none of his kids, buried him. And my dad was in the military, so he already had all of that, but they were always fighting over his money. And these are kids that he was there for.
Wow.
Yeah. But
Hey,
they wasn't his.
wow. Say all the ones he had.
That's like the tragic end of the narc.
Yeah.
Usually they are surrounded by a bunch of people just like them that they are investing interest in.
And they hate to be alone because when I would go to Chicago to visit him in the nursing home, he hated for me to leave. He hated for anybody to leave because he would have had to sit there with them damn demons.
Mm.
How he broke all these homes and nobody give a damn about him because he didn't give a damn about them.
Yeah.
And that's how they end up spending their life.
Yeah.
Guys, they not going. Yeah, you might think that you missed out on something in life. The sooner you get out of it, man. I'm gonna tell you, man. For all you guys that have not reached, 40 and 50, 60 yet, man, don't waste your life on this. Don't do it. I
Mm-mm.
wish I had somebody there to tell me, man, if you give this thing 20 years, you might regret it for the rest of your life. Because every day you get out of that and every day you're free, you're gonna regret every day you gave in it. You're gonna regret it because you're gonna realize, okay, I learned a lesson from it, but damn, it's a lesson I known the whole damn time. It ain't a new lesson that you learning the longer you stay there. It is not a new lesson, y'all. It's the same lesson. It's like you relearning it every single day. You relearning it. I wish. And that's why I speak on this the way I do. Because I want you to hear what I needed to hear. That it ain't no way you gonna save this. It's not going to happen. You are not going to be the first. Some of us take that as a personal challenge. You're not going to turn. God couldn't turn people into an angel. Oh boy.
And you know what? They run off with other narcissists. I was just thinking about my dad when the last one he was with. And they do end up getting discarded. And these narcissists, they run to be their worst nightmare, be their karma for real. Cause and they don't have a preference. This lady was a crackhead. My dad was a police officer and he was with this lady and she ran circles around him and had him stuck where he couldn't leave. She
Mm-hmm.
ended up leaving him. How they say they found him was in an abandoned building in the basement that was wet. And they found him and put him in a nursing home. So when they run off to these other, he married this lady too. And then while he was in the nursing home, his own kids was coming in there stealing from him. So yeah, I mean, they
Hey, yeah, that's how it keeps on going. It doesn't stop, man. So, hey guys, what y'all gonna leave me with tonight, good people? What y'all gonna leave me with tonight? My spiel is spilt.
I want to leave them with just knowing like it may hurt now, like immediately out of it. You will transition through those other phases and you will come out like with a better end. Like nothing really, it don't really end well for the narcissist. My granddad was a narcissist, and when he passed away, like he ended up being with someone who was on crack named Skateboard, and she took him all the way out. And Skateboard didn't even go to his funeral. So that's
Man,
kind of what they end up with is the people that take them all the way out. We never even met Skateboard. She probably can ride. That's all we know. But it's like he didn't really have a relationship with his son or his children or grandchildren. Or I mean, it's sad. But that is the sad end of a narc, and that doesn't have to be your end. Them ending is now your new beginning, and that's what I want to leave with.
mm, what you got for him, Shauna?
mine gonna be short and sweet. To the people who are freshly out of this, you guys have the edge because we didn't really have this information and we giving it to y'all and y'all need to use it. Just understand that person leaving you was the best thing that happened to you. And now you staring at a blank piece of paper in front of you. And go ahead and write your new chapter, write your story because the best is still unwritten.
Mm, good job. Oh man, I wish I would have got some of that time back. Man, I wish I could have had some of that time back. That's all I get to say after 24 years of marriage, 25 years total knowing this person. I could have saved myself 24 years because I knew better. I knew better within that first year, and I still kept on going. Kept the story going. Kept the story going. People, y'all getting the narc is getting jumped again tonight from three different angles. And as you can see, ain't nobody telling you to stick in that mess, man. Nobody's telling you to stay in that mess, to stick through it. You do not owe these people anything. Okay? And they're gonna show you that they don't owe you anything. Trust that. You will see that and they will reiterate it for the whole time that you're with them. Hey y'all, I want y'all to have a good weekend. And we're gonna leave you just like we came
Guys.
in. With nothing but love, peace, and
And
free.
bye, everyone.
Have a
Bye,
wonderful
guys. Have a good weekend.
coming through tonight and doing what we do, the way we do what we do.